What's up, T.O.Gs? Out here on a blustery day. It is windy, and it's going to be windy for a few days. You know, I was worried about my allergies because whenever it gets windy, it blows everything up in the air. But I think we're deep enough into spring that the pollen isn't as bad, and so knock on wood, we're doing okay. But we're out here on the bike on the KTM 1290 Super Duke R, and just enjoying this lovely day. It's like somebody else was out enjoying the day as well. And I wanted to talk today specifically about something because it's been a while since I've addressed the new riders out there, and I like to think of myself as somebody who's helpful, someone who can share knowledge without being overbearing. And so I've been thinking about putting out a series of videos about your first motorcycle. Now, we just rode by earlier the California Highway Patrol Motor Safety Program, and guys out there, right? They're ready to get their motorcycle license, their endorsement, their M1, and all of them are thinking, what is my first bike going to be? Maybe some of them already chose, but if you're like me, and some of you are definitely even more vertically challenged than me. I'm 5'6", and my inseam's about 30 inches, and so there are bikes out there definitely that I have to think twice maybe about riding or buying. And so I want to speak to those of you who are new riders, who are thinking about that first motorcycle, and whose height is going to be a factor in purchasing a bike. Now, I've heard a lot from you who are 4'11" or thereabouts, and saying that I'm not a short rider. First of all, I don't understand. Like, if I was 6 feet tall and called myself tall, there's going to be guys who are like 6'4" who say you're not tall. And so, I mean, I don't understand that. So anyway, that's besides the point. But if you're a shorter rider and you're thinking about that first bike, you know, what's going to fit me? Where do I even start? Let's talk about seat height today. Seat height, you're going to get a couple different numbers when you're researching seat heights of motorcycles. Sometimes you'll get numbers that say seat height and then seat height laden. And that just means the one is the seat height of the bike while it's just there sitting on its kickstand or its center stand. And the other one is going to be the seat height of the motorcycle when you're on it. Right? Those are two different things, because once you sit on the bike and the suspension depresses, and your seat height's going to be lower. And really, it's going to depend, especially if you have adjustable suspension. It's going to depend on how heavy you are. If you're someone who's 4'11" and you're really light, that laden seat height probably isn't going to vary much from the seat height of the bike just on its kickstand. So that's something to consider. If you're a heavier person, you know, once you get on that bike, maybe that seat height's going to be even lower. If you want your suspension to be a little tighter, doesn't matter how heavy you are, you know, that seat height might not go down all that much. And so, as a new rider, maybe you're not even thinking about all that suspension and adjustable suspension and all that things, because maybe you're looking at an older bike that's not going to have adjustable suspension at all. So you're thinking about seat height only. And in that case, you're going to find that cruisers are your friend. Cruisers, for the most part, are going to have a ride height that is, I'm going to say it's probably going to be around 27 to like 24 inches off the ground. The lowest ride height that I've ridden on a motorcycle was the Indian Scout Bobber, and that's a really popular motorcycle right now, and I think that would be a great entry-level motorcycle. But I was, with a 30-inch inseam, I could flat foot that bike with bent knees. It was that close to the ground. And this is probably going to be a bike that you're going to want to think about. Another one I know that has a really low seat height is the Honda Rebel. That comes in a really new rider-friendly CC engines. I want to say there's a 300 and a 500, and now there's an 1100. So let's say, you know, you learn on a 300 CC Honda Rebel. If you really like the bike, think about trading it in and getting the 1100 or graduating to 500. I'm guessing though that if you start on a 300, you're going to want to graduate to something a little more than just 200 cc's more. So something to think about. But cruisers are going to be your friend. The smaller cc sport bikes, I want to say like the Ninja. I want to say that the Ninja actually, the seat height's actually gone up a little bit from past years. But if you find an older one that's going to have a ride height friendly for shorter people. So basically, what you have to consider when you're looking at ride heights, seat heights of motorcycles that you're considering buying is not how tall you are, but how long your inseam is. And so maybe you're 4'11", but you've got long legs. And I guess that probably sounds funny, right? If you're 4'11", saying that you have long legs probably doesn't sound right to you. But basically saying you have a short torso and your legs proportionately are longer than most people who are 4'11". So you want to look at your inseam and take that into consideration when you're looking at ride heights. How much taller is the seat height than my inseam? That's one thing that you want to look at. The other thing you need to look at is not going to be something that you can research online. Something you're going to have to go out, sit on these motorcycles and find out how well they're going to fit you, is how wide the seat is. And now on a sport bike, your seat's going to be narrower than on a cruiser, typically. But most smaller bikes, I think, have fairly narrow seats, and so you're going to be. This is where you need to go out and sit on them, because as seat heights go, the width of the saddle is going to make a difference on whether or not that bike's actually going to fit you. And the last thing to consider about seat height is the fact that some cruisers and some motorcycles are going to have adjustable suspension, so you're going to be able to lower the bike a little bit based on the adjustability of the suspension. And what I was going to say with cruisers is, with Harleys, you can actually get rear suspension. I know, especially with Sportsters, which I think are probably something you're considering if you're considering a cruiser, is that you can swap out the suspension from the standard suspension to shorter rear suspension to lower that seat height even more. So there's lots of things that you can do. If you're somebody on a budget, you got to think about older motorcycles, and then when you think about older motorcycles, suspension adjustments might not be as much in the picture, and in that case you really got to look at seat height laden and then actually go sit on it to see if that seat height is actually going to fit you. And with all things, you know, I do a lot of test ride videos, and I say the same thing to everyone when I'm riding a bike is, you know, you can research these things all day online, you can watch a ton of YouTube videos, but in the end, you've got to go out, throw a leg over that bike, and find out if it's actually going to fit you. So that's something that you really, bottom line is, as much help as I can give you, that one's up on you. You've got to go out, test it out, see how it's going to fit. Guys, are you guys new riders? Or maybe you're a seasoned rider and you're shorter and you have a lot of experience? But leave it in the comments. What are some of the things related to seat height that you find helpful, that have helped you in the past, and that can help somebody else out? Make sure you leave those in the comments. But guys, if you found this video helpful or you liked it, make sure you hit that thumbs up down there, which is the like button. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Guys, if you are out there riding, please be safe. Be kind to one another. My name is Eric. I'm that one guy, and I am out.